1211. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
For the third straight week, UCLA has the nation's #1 women's college basketball team. The 9-0 Bruins have been ranked #1 since they upset defending national champion South Carolina on November 24th. UCLA is back in action Saturday at Long Beach State. USC's women's basketball team is ranked 5th this week. The Trojans are 8-1. They're at home tonight against Fresno State. The Lakers and Clippers have a nice schedule break. Both teams are off until Friday. The Lakers are at Minnesota. The Clippers are at Denver. The 4 finalists for this year's Heisman Trophy Award were announced Monday. Colorado wide receiver defensive back Travis Hunter, Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, University of Miami quarterback Cam Ward, and Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. The award for college football's best player will be presented Saturday in New York City. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
It was 7:45, we were all in line to greet the teacher, Miss Kathleen. First was Kevin, then came Lucy, third in line was me. All of us were ordinary compared to Cynthia Rose. She always stood at the back of the line, a smile beneath her nose. Her favorite number was 20, and every single day. If you asked her what she had for breakfast, this is what she'd say. Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam, butterscotch clouds and a tangerine, a side order ham. If you set your mind free, baby, maybe you understand. Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam. Cynthia wore the prettiest dress with different color socks. Sometimes I wonder if the mates were in her lunchbox. Me and Lucy opened it when Cynthia won around. Lucy cried, almost died. You know what we found? Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam.
It's not every day you get to see Dr. Melina Abdullah and Dominique DiPrima lip syncing to Prince.
I'm real singing. What you talking about?
Okay, well, I was trying not to sing too loud. You know her from the show. Well, you should know her from Black Lives Matter Grassroots, the probably biggest movement in our time for justice for black people and against state-sanctioned violence. She's a professor, though, chair of the Pan-African Studies Department, formerly at Cal State LA. She's got her Ph.D. and an MA, and she is the director of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, lead organizer for BLMLA, and also the president of the Prince Fan Club.
Yes,
Internationally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know the best present I've gotten recently?
What?
My child brought home, Amara brought me a handmade pillow with Prince's face on it, so I go to sleep with him every single night. I do.
Wait, this woman has the symbol tattooed behind her ear.
It's my one and only tattoo.
Yes. And it's And it's Prince, the
Prince.
artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, who
symbol.
else? What other man would I tattoo on my body?
Well, I can't think of one.
None. Right.
Well, I mean, I can think of some, but not really. I mean, I think Malcolm X or, Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
He brings me joy.
And how many times have you seen Prince live?
Every single concert since Purple Rain. I was in the 7th grade, got Purple Rain tickets for, I think it was Christmas. Stood in line really long, but I've been to every single concert, and if I can, every show of every concert.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
If he comes to town 3 nights, I'm going 3 nights.
Oh,
Except when he did that 21 nights, I only did 9 of the 21.
Only 9.
Yeah, because I just had a baby.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you'll get a kick out of this. I don't think I've ever told you this. When I was in college, and I took my college makeup for actors class, I had to do a celebrity, and I made myself up as Prince. It was pretty convincing.
Do we have pictures of this?
I have to look.
We got to find pictures of this.
We had, and I walked around all day on campus like that.
Did you do that all?
Because I'm stupid. Yeah, I might have done that. I don't remember. Knowing me, I probably did. Anyway, a lot going on. I'm glad you picked that upbeat song. I feel like a lot of us need a little palate refresher with all the 12 kinds of crazy going on in the world right now.
We got to remember there's still Prince, there's still joy, there's still everything. It's still here, hidden by a bunch of BS that's moving in the world, though. Yeah,
and I started out talking about poet Nikki Giovanni, who made her transition. Such a feisty and powerful intellectual.
She had a man's name tattooed on her body too.
Really?
Tupac.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had a Tupac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have no tattoos. I have some people's names tattooed on my brain, though. But yeah, I mean, you're a scholar and a teacher, and you teach feminism for one thing, feminist philosophy.
And I got to be in community with Nikki Giovanni several times. So, Nikki Giovanni, I was first introduced to Nikki Giovanni as a child, and some people in my age group remember oratorical contests and us winning. In fact, every woman in my family has won their oratorical contest performing Ego Tripping, and if you push me hard, I can still say the entire poem.
I love that
I can
so
still
much.
recite the entire
Wow.
poem. So I have photos of Nikki Giovanni and Tandiwe, my oldest child, because they won their first oratorical contest at View Park reciting Ego Tripping with Nikki Giovanni. So, of course, it was she was introduced through her words and through her poetry first. And then when I was chair of Pan-African Studies at Cal State LA, we were really fortunate to have Nikki Giovanni for our 10th anniversary of our Pan-African Studies Forum. And she came and spent an entire day with us at Cal State LA and did some poetry, but really engaged in conversation. And that was in 2017. But one of the greatest, I looked back and said, what did I call it? Did I call it an honor? I called it one of the thrills of my life, was that in 2022, I was named Scholar in Residence at Prairie View A&M University, and Nikki Giovanni was named Writer in Residence.
Oh, wow, nice.
And so we were on campus together, and we did a master class together. She is Writer in Residence and me as Activist in Residence.
Ooh, that would have been an amazing class.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. And of course, I tried to be quiet as much as possible because you don't want to talk when Nikki Giovanni is talking. She'll tell you stories in addition to, pulling out a poem or referencing some kind of lesson she's learned. And she's just a phenomenal being, and we wish her soul well as it journeys to the realm of the ancestors.
Yeah, no doubt. I never knew her.
Really?
No, I never knew her. But I grew up with poetry. Both my parents are poets. I've heard her work many, many times, but I never knew her. I think I consumed more poetry by the age of 10 than most people will in their entire lives.
You were the first person I texted when I found out. I assumed you knew her.
Yeah, no, I did not know her.
She was such a force.
I mean, I've talked with her before, but I didn't know her.
Yeah.
No, she
Yeah.
wasn't part of my poet pantheon that I grew up knowing, and babysat me and all that. She wasn't one of those, but definitely respected and admired her. Now, as a scholar, as a professor who teaches, women writers, what would you say is the importance of Nikki Giovanni as a public intellectual?
Nikki Giovanni, I think what's starting to resonate with me in the world is the importance of authenticity. The importance of authenticity. And Nikki Giovanni represented both authenticity and also this assuredness of who she was and who we are as a people, but in a really authentic way. I think that we're seeing kind of this contrast between those who are willing to live in their authentic selves, write in their authentic selves, speak in their authentic selves, and those who are performative and try to represent something because it's marketable or brandable. And what really resonates, the reason that Nikki Giovanni at 81 years old, still pierces our souls, still, again, I'm holding myself back from saying I was born in the Congo, right? I walked to the Fertile Crescents and built the Sphinx, right? The reason I'm holding myself back from that is because when she writes that, she's writing and speaking in a way that, is in her full power, but is also extremely authentic. And so I think that's a contrast between that and what we see is kind of peddled to us as what we should be or what we should aspire to.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, people talk about authenticity, but, we are somewhat in a fake little era right now.
That's right.
We're in a little fake, I almost cussed, little fake era.
But we can tell the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? We can tell the difference, and it's a reason why certain people just, there's like a ick factor to it, right?
Yeah. And we were talking about media literacy this morning earlier and how important that is with deep fakes and mis and disinformation. But I'm listening to you and I'm thinking there's like a cultural literacy or a, social literacy that has to go with that too, of being able to have your fake detector.
That's right. Yeah, you got to have your fake detector on. And can we stop selling everything? Because I think that's part of it. Look, I said...
No, I don't think we can stop selling.
We got to, though, Dominique. Like, part of what Nikki Giovanni, why we hold her so dear, is because I loved being in a room and sitting with her. And, Nikki Giovanni also was a truth teller in every sense. Like, she would tell the truth on people, right?
Yeah.
And, like, you sitting there and you going, which writer is she talking about? And sometimes she'd tell you the name and sometimes she wouldn't, right? But I think that there was a value in sitting in that room with her and not having it broadcast on Instagram or TikTok or, she's not going to tell you Who Didn't Do Right by Toni Morrison on social media, but if you're in a room with her, she'll tell you, right? And I think that we have to remember the importance of intimacy. That's another piece. She felt anytime you were in space with her, anytime you read her, it felt intimate. That's part of her authenticity, right? It was extremely intimate. And I said, I guess this is kind of a contradiction in my own self, but I said, I want to go on social media and say, stop telling all our secrets. Everybody in the world doesn't need to learn how to crip walk or make good mac and cheese, right? Let's hold some things dear to who we are and who our community is. And that includes Nikki Giovanni's stories.
I'm laughing because I agree, but I also think that there's a lot. Some people aren't going to learn, no matter how many videos and recipes they read, their mac and cheese is still going to be mayonnaise and the crip walk is still going to be suspect.
Let's psych them out and tell them we put mayonnaise and mac and cheese and let them do that and they could put raisins in their potato salad and mayonnaise in their mac and cheese. But don't give away all the secrets.
Polly 1,000% agrees with you.
Yeah.
And Courtney Edwards says, God bless morning, my beautiful Queen Abdullah. I want to talk about Victories, and of course we got to get into this horrendous jury decision in the Jordan Neely case and more. And you're invited in 800-920-1580. You're listening to the home of This Is Not a Drill, Black Lives Matter show on Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock Pacific time. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Did you know that 1 in 6 African American men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer? This month, every time you purchase Gillette's family of products, they'll donate to support Movember. Whether you're looking for Gillette's Best Shave, a regimen to help prevent new shave irritation and bumps, or award-winning beard care products, every Gillette purchase can make a difference in the fight against prostate cancer. Visit pggoodeveryday.com/Movember for details. Exclusions apply.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The revolution will not be televised.
This is Brother Cornell West. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm full of joy and delight to announce that I'm joining the precious family at KBLA Talk 1580, founded and led by my dear brother Tavis Smiley himself. Yes, the name of the show is Truth Time, and I'll be working with the inimitable Nina Turner out of Cleveland, Ohio, sister of great vision, and we will be on weekdays at 12 noon. We will be following Brother Tavis Smiley's show. We will begin Monday, January the 6th. That's right, Monday, January the 6th. Get ready for a different kind of insurrection. We coming with Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer and Curtis Mayfield and Aretha Franklin, and gonna add a little Gil Scott Heron too, as Nina Simone sits at the center. That's right.
The revolution will be live.
That's what we gonna do. Please come with us on this fantastic voyage.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Talk 1580. We over here talking smack. Forget the radio. My friend is in the building. Dr. Melina Abdullah is here. Man, so much going on. So I was excited okay, are they on my head? No, I lost my glasses, so I'm just going to be going off the top of my dome here because I can't see. But I was excited when I heard that the family of Botham Jean was awarded $100 million, right, in the civil case. And you said
they're not going to see that
They're not going to see it. Explain that.
So we see this time and time again. So there's this terrible legal practice called qualified immunity, where police and agents of the state are enabled to really appeal decisions before a trial, during a trial, and even after a trial in civil cases. And so what we see with these large jury awards, including the family of Andrew Joseph III, got the largest jury award in Florida state history for the murder of their 14-year-old son at the hands of Hillsborough County sheriffs. They got the largest jury award, and they never saw a dime of it, right? This was years ago that they got the largest award.
They're still in the court process, right? I mean, they could maybe eventually see something, or
they
no?
could maybe eventually. However, basically what police are allowed to have is endless appeals, and because they have endless pocketbooks, because you and I are footing the bill actually, or their police associations are footing the bill, they're able to just drag out not only the payment but the pain, right? And that's what we'll likely see with Botham Jean. So, you know, I love his sister. His sister, Alyssa Finley, is a tremendous force. And when I saw the award, my initial response is to text Alyssa Finley. And so I text her and say, congratulations. And there wasn't a whole lot of response from her, because I think that she also knows that that award means an award, but there's going to be an immediate appeal, and that payment will likely be stalled, if not left unpaid altogether, or there could be some compromise with a much lower award if the police choose to compromise and pay something.
It's so sad. I mean, it's like even when you're accountable, you're not accountable. But it's still a victory, and I salute that. Jacqueline Anderson says, Melina, my family loves you for all your help doing my brother General Jeff's repast. Love you, my sister.
Oh, thank you for that. And let's make sure that we stand in the name of Brother General Jeff, who is one of my favorite people and spirits in the world. What a wonderful comrade he is, from both sides.
Yeah, I love General Jeff too.
Yeah.
And speaking of comrades, we didn't get a chance to speak on Robin, our colleague, Robin Ayers, who died suddenly. I mean, at the young age of 44 last week. I think all of us are reeling from that. The station everybody feels kind of sad, or very sad, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel her loss, right?
Yeah.
Like, Robin was a tremendous colleague. She had a radiant smile. She had an energy that lifted the room, right?
Yeah.
Any space she was in, she lifted. And I'm not pushed back on my heels by much, but when we got word of Robin's passing, when I think about it, I'm very, very sad. And it's a loss that you can feel in the station and in the world.
That's one of the pictures that I posted in paying tribute to Robin, was from Black Women Are Divine when she came out. I think it was year before last, and we were representing. It was her first time at Black Women Are Divine, and just her willingness to show up, and support Black Lives Matter, grassroots in that space, I think, was just another facet of who she was. She would jump on some of the meetings that we have as far as, briefing people, media and stuff. And I just think that she really, there was much more to her than people knew.
Yeah, and what I love about Robin is she really demonstrated, too, no matter where you're coming from, you can move our people forward, right? So if we need to move people forward in heavy and light ways, right? And she was just she was a light. She was a light.
Heavy and light ways. Okay, let's talk. I want to talk victories, and I've been meaning to try to get you in here or on the phone to talk about some of this stuff. But I think just from the chat this morning, I know that this verdict in the Jordan Neely murder is heavy on people's hearts. I feel it. I feel, day in, day out, you report news that isn't wonderful. But some things feel like a kick to the gut, and this does to me.
Yeah. I'm going to share what we talked about yesterday, if that's okay. Yeah. So when we were sitting down yesterday, you said it reminds you of the Dred Scott decision. And I thought that encapsulates the feeling perfectly, that it feels like no black man, no black person has any rights, even the right to their own life, that a white man is bound to respect. And I think that that is absolutely what this outcome represents, that, white people can do anything to us. They can kill us on trains, choke us out in front of hundreds of people, and then be rewarded for those murders, right? And I think we're going to we've seen already a surge in the police killings of black people. I think we're going to see a surge in the vigilante murders of black people, because that is what's been ushered in with this new fascist regime. And I mean that at the federal level, right? Trump is absolutely a fascist, but I also mean that at the local level with the election of Nathan Hochman as this district attorney. He's also given a green light to police and violent white supremacists to kill black people. And so black people have to figure out how we build safety for ourselves, because, we're unsafe, right? Our lives are at risk. And so I think that we absolutely have to uplift the name and spirit of Jordan Neely, but also remember that any of us can be Jordan Neely. Any of us could be on a train and have this, and this white man is being celebrated, right? He's ahead of the trial, he raised $3 million, right-wing Republicans and
for his so-called legal defense. Ain't no way he spent $3 million on that
No
defense.
way he spent $3 million.
He got leftover money.
But they're pouring in donations again. And there's talk of book deals and documentaries. He's all over the internet with his shirt off, right?
Wait, did you see that Kyle Rittenhouse congratulated him for getting off?
Of course he did.
I mean, it's a club.
It's a club.
Kill an N-word,
George
get
Zimmerman,
rich.
Right.
Kill an N-word, I feel, where's Paul Mooney when we need him?
Right.
Kill an N-word, get rich. Kill an N-word, get a book deal.
Did you see that a member of Congress is saying he deserves a Congressional Medal of Honor?
I did not see that, but I saw that J.D. Vance, the vice president-elect, sorry, I said his name. I'm trying not to say their names. I'm trying to just call them the vice president-elect and the president-elect.
Yeah, no, I want everybody to know these are the people, and so we should hold it
okay.
Yeah. So that's why I say the names of killer cops too.
I gotcha. Well, yeah, that makes sense, because you don't want them to get hired again. And
be anonymous like Zimmerman. Everybody should know George Zimmerman's name.
But there's no way that those two jokers, the president and the vice president-elect, are going to be anonymous. I know I'm going to be hearing their name a million times. But anyway, your point is taken. He tweeted out, in support.
Congratulations.
Yes. What world are we living in?
Even if you believe Daniel Penny is not guilty, and I don't know how you could believe that, because we saw what he did, right? But even if you believed in the jury verdict, it's a tragedy that nobody should have been congratulated for.
Hello. You're congratulating people for murder now. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and we'll continue the conversation with Dr. Melina Abdullah and you, only right here.
A safe place to go loud.
A great place for progressive politics.
KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A recent Gallup poll shows that 62% of Americans now believe the federal government should ensure health care coverage for everyone, the highest percentage in over a decade. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected an appeal by parents claiming Boston's pandemic-era exam school admissions discriminated against white and Asian students. The challenged policy, which used zip code quotas, has since been replaced and is not being contested. A wind-driven wildfire near Malibu has grown to over 1,600 acres. Los Angeles County firefighters are battling the Franklin fire, which started Monday night. Evacuations are mandatory, and Pepperdine University students must shelter in place. And a Florida fisherman found 55 pounds of cocaine worth $1.7 million off the coast. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office joked, inviting the owner to claim the drugs for an all-expense-paid stay at the county jail. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees, holiday lights, and more. Plus, save with weekly deal drops on appliances, tools, and more. Valid 12/5 through 12/11. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
For the third straight week, UCLA has the nation's #1 women's college basketball team. The 9-0 Bruins have been ranked #1 since they upset defending national champion South Carolina on November 24th. UCLA is back in action Saturday at Long Beach State. USC's women's basketball team is ranked 5th this week. The Trojans are 8-1. They're at home tonight against Fresno State. The Lakers and Clippers have a nice schedule break. Both teams are off until Friday. The Lakers are at Minnesota. The Clippers are at Denver. The 4 finalists for this year's Heisman Trophy Award were announced Monday. Colorado wide receiver defensive back Travis Hunter, Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, University of Miami quarterback Cam Ward, and Boise State running back Ashton Genty. The award for college football's best player will be presented Saturday in New York City. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long.
We're unapologetically progressive.
KBLA Talk 1580. On behalf of her precious family, it is with profound sadness that KBLA Talk 1580 announces the passing of our beloved colleague, Robin Ayers, on Thursday, December 5th. Robin was a bright light. You could see her radiant smile through the radio. We all respected her immense talent, loved her jovial spirit, celebrated her love of family, and honored her faith in God. Our thoughts and prayers are with Robin's entire family, most especially her husband Rob and her twin daughters Brooklyn and Madison. We ask you to join us in praying for the Ayers family as they navigate the difficult days ahead. In her honor, all this week, we're broadcasting the Best of the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this?
We didn't think so.
You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed you are, and I appreciate you for doing so. Look who's in the building, Dr. Melina Abdullah. She is the director of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, in case you're one of the confused ones that I see on social media. Black Lives Matter Grassroots is Black Lives Matter. It's the group that actually does the work to help people, not the ones that be pimping people. Anyway, I'm just saying. Dr. Melina Abdullah is also the host of This Is Not a Drill, Saturday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580. Your colleague is joining the KBLA lineup.
Yes.
Your presidential
I got to be
sidekick.
Dr. Cornel West's running mate. That's crazy still for me to say. Yes, and he's going to be on every single day with Truth Time right here on KBLA. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think
he's
it's
pairing
exciting.
up with Nina Turner, right?
Right, who's a national powerhouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
A famous person named Nina Turner, former Ohio State Senator. That's going to be every single day. The Jesse Jackson Jr. show is going to be on every single day.
Yeah, I'm going to be really excited to listen as much as I possibly can. That weekday lineup, starting with you, Dominique, is something.
Right, lead off batter right here. And then Nicordelai Corte gets a promotion because he's going to do a pop culture and political thing. He's going from 1 hour a day to 2 hours a day. So that's big. That's
wow.
big. Yeah.
That's great.
Tavis never stops. He's always got an iteration like you. What a surprise. So we were talking about Jordan Neely. We were talking about Nathan Hochman, who is the newly elected district attorney here in LA County, but he is part of a national pushback to progressive prosecutors.
That's right. I never used the term progressive prosecutors before, but Professor Jody Armour, that's one of his favorite terms. And then if you read N-word theory, he explains what progressive prosecutors are. And I actually am convinced that you can be a progressive prosecutor. I think that the system, what Dr. Yusef Salaam calls the criminal system of injustice, is a system that is inherently oppressive. And so that was my resistance to the notion of progressive prosecutors.
Right.
But what we saw with Gascon here in Los Angeles, if you can get past the lies that were shoved down your throat, right, what we saw is the coming home of some of our people who were prosecuted as children and then sentenced as adults, right, including one of our own organizers, Prince Akili, who was snatched up out of his desk when he was 15 years old, a 10th grader, snatched out of his desk for a non-murder.
Right, and then, for having a fight at the mall.
And then did 17 years in prison. Hard time. 17 years and only came home because Gascon said, no, nobody's going to be held on enhancements. Prince Akili was held because he was deemed to live in a gang neighborhood and got a gang enhancement. Right.
And Hochman has made it clear that that is back. Day one. He came on the show and lied and said he wasn't. Then as soon as he got elected,
he rolled that back. He said he's going to start using the death penalty again. We know that every single death penalty case in the county of Los Angeles, save one, has been of a black man, right? He said he's going to start using the death penalty again. And we're also getting word that he is holding true to his word. Who paid for his campaign is the Police Association of Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs and the Los Angeles Police Protective League, along with the DA's Association, who gets their money basically from killing people and locking people up, right? What he's done is under Gascon, we did see prosecutions, at least, actually there were hundreds of prosecutions, but 5 prosecutions for police who killed people. What Hochman has said and indicated is that he's going to roll those back. So not only will he not prosecute additional police, but he's also planning to roll those back. So as we talk about people like Brandon Boyd, who was killed in Long Beach just before, black father of 6, killed on his childhood church steps,
and
right?
Molly Bell was talking about him in the chat. Brandon Boyd, say his name. Yeah.
Brandon Boyd. And tonight, people are headed out to the Long Beach City Council meeting at 5 o'clock to stand with Brandon's family and lift up his name. One of the Boyd family's demands is that Nathan Hochman prosecute those 4 cops who killed this black single father of 6.
Black handsome single father of 6.
Handsome, and did everything that they say black men don't do. Single black father of 6 who raised his children since they were 2 months old.
Wow.
Who walked his children to school every single day. Murdered him because he needed help, and he called 911.
He called them for help, and they killed him. This
That's
is how
right.
we help you.
That's right.
Yeah, so...
so Nathan Hochman is terrible, and let me just say that he proved who he was when we went out to protest him last Monday and Tuesday. Thank you for coming out with us, Dominique.
Of course.
On Monday, we protested his official swearing in, which was inside the building, but then he had this big, outside the building ceremony full of pomp and circumstance. And Pastor Q and Jason Reedy and Michael Williams from Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, along with Centro CSO and other groups, went to protest, which is our constitutional First Amendment right, went to protest and stood behind what they had barricaded off. What does Nathan Hochman do? He 6 LAPD on Jason Reedy, a black father who was there with his toddler-age son, and wrestles Jason away from his son. The police then threaten child endangerment and threaten to put his child in the system for him daring to stand up with his son present. They put hands on, you had Pastor Q on the show, put hands on Pastor Q. This is all at the behest.
I mean, they had Pastor Q in cuffs.
They had him in cuffs.
That's crazy, just for a so-called citation. But I noticed the call is oppose Nathan Hochman.
That's right.
People have already talked about a recall. That's expensive and impractical, I know.
Yeah.
But when Jackie Lacey was DA, it was Jackie must go.
Yes.
Is there a difference?
I don't know if there's a difference or if we were just trying to switch it up for a minute, but the oppose was, we wanted to oppose from day one. So Jackie Lacey, what we did try to do, and I don't know if everybody's aware of this, we did try to get her to understand where we were coming from and why she has to prosecute police when they kill our people. And then her refusal is when we said Jackie Lacey.
I see. So that process hasn't happened with Hochman.
Well, Hochman already has said, like, Jackie Lacey tried to dance around and go, oh, yes, I care about the family.
Yeah, because she's black. She was the first black DA. She came on Front Page, my show at that time, and asked for our votes and then proceeded to avoid me for the rest of her term when she was elected. And she's up here gloating about Nathan Hochman, which tells you everything you need to know. That's
right. Everyone on the right, everyone who's pro-police is gloating about Nathan Hochman.
And Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I say it's FAFO for them too, because I just don't. Maybe some of the evil ones, will be happy with the results, but I don't think that anyone's going to be really thriving in what they have in store for you.
Let me say what we're extremely effective at. Black Lives Matter.
Getting rid of people?
Absolutely. Ask Jackie Lacey, ask Kevin De Leon, right? Ask Chief Beck, Michael Moore. If we set our sight, we're not going to let go,
Yeah. How many weeks is it now on Wednesdays?
It's
years?
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
3 years, yeah.
Ray D says in the chat, we'll be at the city council tonight in Long Beach. Prayers going up for Brandon Boyd. Friday Jones says, good morning, Dr. Abdullah and Dominique, 2 of my faves, and you're one of our faves, too.
One of our faves, absolutely. Sister Friday, who's a new member of Black Lives Matter Los Angeles.
Love that so much.
Comrade for a long time, but
so
joined at Sunday's meeting, so we get to officially claim her as she leads such good reparations work.
Absolutely. Okay, when we come forward, we are going to take your phone calls, 800-920-1580. And I want to touch on a couple of the other cases, at least real quick, that we haven't talked about, because I know you have some insights.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on around here. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Okay, so last time I had insurance, I got hit with huge bills every time I saw the doctor.
You gotta get a plan with low copays and no deductibles. That's what those big bills are. I got a plan through Covered California. Now it doesn't cost so much to go see a doctor.
Seriously?
Yeah, and they have a bunch of options like that, so you can find one that works for you and your cash flow.
I can swing that.
We all have questions. Covered California has answers and can find a health plan that's right for you. Covered California, this way to health insurance.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been hearing me guest host here on KBLA Talk 1580, and I'm having a blast. But I'm excited about joining the official lineup here at KBLA Talk 1580 starting Monday, January 6th at 1 p.m. Start your day with First Things First and Dominique DiPrima at 6 a.m. Check out Tavis Smiley at 9 a.m. Tune into Truth Time with Dr. Cornell West and Nina Turner at 12 noon, and then tap in with me on The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show at 1 p.m. weekdays. I served 17 years in the U.S. Congress, and I can tell you it's going to be a rough 4 years, so let's navigate this journey together. It's The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, starting Monday, January 6th at 1 p.m. on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Love wins. Speaking of love wins, Brittany Martin is home, and that is a victory for sure.
It's such a victory. So I'm just getting back to LA because I went to South Carolina last week.
Wow.
And I had dinner with Brittany Martin and her husband and 5 of her children. Brittany Martin is the Black mama and freedom fighter who was locked up and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for simply speaking words to a cop as she protested for George Floyd. And she said she was willing to sacrifice her life for Black people. I don't know how that's a crime, but they locked her up and intended to make an example out of her because of organizing, because many of our listeners signed petitions and, stood up and refused to allow her to be there by herself. Brittany Martin is free, and I also got to meet the baby girl that she had behind bars. Blessing was at dinner with us, and she is just a beautiful child and a blessing. All her children live up to their names, Blessing and King and Queen, and her children are phenomenal. Her husband is an absolute king who held it down with all these kids. They're parents of 7 children.
Wow.
And held it down. She was locked up for 2.5 years.
You need a Congressional Medal of Honor if you can raise 7
children.
I'm
going, you got an uncle, Eric? Because I'll take your uncle, right? But yeah, it was just beautiful. And Sister Brittany is more committed than ever to struggling for the freedom of our people.
That story, that situation just bothered me so much. I mean, she basically said, she raised her voice and said, basically forget the police or something like that.
Well,
F12
I mean, she'll
versus.
repeat what she said. Basically, what she said verbatim is, I'm willing to die for the black. Are you willing to die for the blue? And
for that, she's got to go to prison.
Right.
For 5 years.
And they thought that this was going to be a $500 fine at most. And instead, they sentenced her to 4.5 years. They cut off her locks. They forced her to have her baby in prison, refused her right to breastfeed her child.
For speaking words. And this is before the new Confederates rode in, and they are in power now. So I imagine it's perilous times for protesters. We'll talk more about that on a future show because we got things to do today. Herman Whitfield, tell me about that situation.
So Brittany was able to lift us from a devastating loss. Herman Whitfield III was killed in Indianapolis by Indianapolis police when his parents called 911 for help. Herman Whitfield was in the middle of a mental health episode, and they called 911, asked for help, were specific about wanting mental health providers. And instead, the police came in and they hogtied him, tased him, jumped on his back as he uttered the famous last words, "I can't breathe." And he died on his parents' living room floor.
So horrifying.
The verdict was not guilty for both of those cops. And their so-called expert said that the reason that Herman Whitfield, who was in his 30s, the reason he died is because he had eaten an edible earlier in the day. And they actually said this terrible line, THC kills. I don't know about you. I don't know anybody who's ever died from eating an edible.
I'd be dead for sure. Sorry, I would. I'd be dead.
But Herman Whitfield is not... He's not dead because he ate an edible. He's dead because you tased him to death, you jumped on his back, you hogtied him, and you refused to listen when he said, "I can't breathe." And you refused to provide CPR once he was in distress.
Just such a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. When you talk about these, cases like Brittany Martin and even the family of Mr. Whitfield, they don't get $3 million or $5 million or $10 million or whatever Daniel Penny got. They get
nothing.
Little or nothing. So how can people donate to Black Lives Matter Grassroots? Can they donate to the family? How can they?
Yeah, absolutely. They can fund our work. Our work is what's able to get people like Andrew Joseph, who's our rapid response coordinator, out to provide court support, right? And to stand with these families. So if they want to support Black Lives Matter Grassroots, which is the boots on the ground, we are Black Lives Matter, or blmgrassroots.org, blmgrassroots.org. We're also encouraging people to give directly to Brittany's family. And her husband's Cash App is Tony Court, TonyCourt. And we got to think about what it means that he had to move twice because they also disappeared Brittany inside of a multi-state prison system, moving her from a South Carolina prison to an Illinois prison. He moves the entire family there. And then when they go to release her, they moved her back to South Carolina. So he has to move all of these children back to South Carolina. They're now living with his extended family in South Carolina. They need resources. So Tony Court is his Cash App. And that goes directly to Brother Eric, who's Brittany's husband, to help him support his family and his wife as they try to reestablish themselves.
Yeah.
So that's really, really important, especially we talk about Black Xmas, which is this period.
Right. Explain Black Xmas.
Black Xmas is an effort that we initiated in 2014 after John Crawford was killed inside of a Walmart store, 22-year-old Black father handling store merchandise. Police called on him. He's gunned down in the middle of the aisle. And so we say, don't get whipped into a consumerist frenzy during this holiday period. Instead, let's be intentional with our dollars, and we build Black, buy Black, bank Black. That means building Black means, instead of buying some crap you don't need, and I want to cuss, but I won't. Instead of buying some crap you don't need, Donate to Brittany Martin's family in the name of your loved one or because you're celebrating the holidays and want her to have a good holiday, right? Build Black means donating to Black-led, Black-serving organizations and those who do the work for our people.
Like Black Lives Matter Grassroots.
Like Black Lives Matter Grassroots, blmgrassroots.org or BLM Grassroots on all social media. If you do need something, buy Black. Walmart has inferior skateboards. You know who has good skateboards? Around the corner neighbor's skate shop, right? Or rad Black kids. Buy Black if you're going to buy. And then lastly, this doesn't even cost you anything. We know that the first profit that banks made, most major white corporate banks, made profit off of the enslavement of our ancestors. Don't let Bank of America hold your money. And that history continues now. Remember when they had police called in on Ryan Coogler, right, for trying to withdraw his own money,
right,
famed Black Panther director.
A check, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so move your money. Take it out of these white corporate-owned banks and put it in Black-owned banks, credit unions. Don't let them hold your money. That doesn't even cost you anything to just move your money. So blackxmas.org, build Black, buy Black, bank Black.
I'm smiling because I remember J. Anthony Brown. He's like, I'm not putting all my money in no doggone Black bank, but at least take some of your money and put it in a Black
Look,
bank.
all my money is in a Black bank. And I like that I don't have to stand behind a bulletproof glass to talk to somebody. Yeah.
Well, I'm still on the J. Anthony Brown program, but I agree with you that it's a great feeling to go into a Black bank and be treated nicely and respected. And and we got a couple of them here. We got I don't know what they call Broadway Federal anymore.
Yeah.
And
One United.
One United, yeah.
One United.
Broadway Federal, even though it's my bank, has a different name and I can't remember it.
And there's online banking, so it doesn't even really matter where your bank is anymore.
True that.
So I know One United, my family all has accounts, at the largest Black-owned bank in the country.
Yes, indeed. And and we love them just because they are also community partners.
Yeah. Yeah, before we bought the Center for Black Power, One United Bank gave us a physical home for 6 years, rent-free in one of their properties.
That's what I'm talking about. Put your money where your mouth is.
That's right.
So many of these corporations made promises to Black Lives Matter and to Black people, and they haven't made good, right?
Right. That's right. That's right.
So when they do, we reward them.
So, and we support ourselves. I think that's the message, too, that in this political moment, you can't rely on everybody else, right? In 2020, it was popular for Netflix or even Bank of America to say Black Lives Matter. Now, they probably some of the ones funding Daniel Penny, right?
And saying DEI must die, yeah.
Right, right. That's Walmart's new slogan, right? And so we have to make sure that we support each other, that we support ourselves. So if people go to blackxmas.org, they'll learn more about how. So also some of the questions become, well, where do I get a Black contractor? Well, if you go to blackxmas.org, there's categories and you can click the categories. I desperately need to do something for my skin. And one of the things that has been posted every day, we post a Black-owned business of the day, is this sister who does facials. So I think I haven't had a facial in like 12 years. I think I'm going to treat myself to getting a facial.
Treat yourself, self-care.
But on our social media, we highlight Black-owned businesses of the day, too, so that you can know where to go. You get your nails done from a sister. You beautiful. I need to go.
Yeah, black nail salon.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Nails by Prey.
Yeah. Dr. Abdullah, 20 seconds here. What do you want to end with?
We want to say, get out in these streets, organize. Follow Black Lives Matter Grassroots, BLM Grassroots on all social media. And here in Los Angeles, BLM LA on X and BLM Los Angeles on Instagram. And head down to Long Beach today, 5 p.m., to stand in the name of Brandon Boyd at Long Beach City Council meeting. Of course, every Wednesday, we're at 1313 West 8th Street to saying End Police Association.
Maurice Guicci says Vegas checking in. Cops did the same thing. Guy calls 911 for help and ends up getting killed.
Another Brandon Durham in Vegas. Yes.
Say his name. Well, Melina Abdullah, thank you so much. I'm very sorry that you're not our vice president, but I'm happy that you're home at KBLA.
I am too. Thank you, Sister Dominique.
News, traffic, and sports, and then Etienne Maurice. What a morning around here. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A recent Gallup poll shows that 62% of Americans now believe the federal government should ensure health care coverage for everyone, the highest percentage in over a decade, against white and Asian students. The challenged policy, which used zip code quotas, has since